Well, hello. I hope everyone is having a great Thursday. A very warm welcome to everyone that is watching today's live stream, wherever you're watching from. I'm so happy that you are here. And I'm really excited for today because I get to talk about all the reasons that I love being a PT. Everywhere you look these days, especially on social media, there's just so much negativity toward our profession. And it's all coming from the people that are in it, the clinicians that have been around for a while and they've experienced a lot of changes and changes that were not for the better. It's coming from clinicians who unfortunately find themselves working in some shitty environments and some crappy work conditions, and they don't know how to manage that or what to do about that. And it's coming from newer clinicians who appear to have been misled a little bit about what to expect in this profession. So today I want to flip that script and talk about the positives and hopefully remind some of us why we got into this profession in the first place. So for anybody new here, I am Dr. Jody Miller. I'm a physical therapist and a mentor to students and newer clinicians. So clinicians that have been working for a few years and maybe they're starting to feel some burnout or frustrations in their current job and they want some help to figure out how to make it all better. That's who I help and that's what I do. I've worked in just about every setting that there is for PTs. I've worked in outpatient, I have worked in acute care, oncology, I've done some home health, done pediatrics, I've done travel therapy. Most of my career has been in skilled nursing facility. I was a rehab director of a skilled nursing facility. I do some adjunct teaching and some lab assisting. And I also own a small cash-based practice in Florida where I work with gymnasts and cheerleaders. And I'm also the owner of Clinical Connections Mentoring, which is where you are today. So again, thank you for being here. What I'd like to do, if you're watching live, please go ahead, type live in the comments and tell me where you're from. Same thing if you're watching the replay, just go ahead and type your name and where you're from. I just want to know who I'm talking to when I'm doing these live trainings. Also, while you're there in the comments, go ahead and tell me, why did you choose to become a PT or an OT or speech therapist or whatever rehab professional that you are? What brought you to come to the decision that you wanted to pursue that profession? So before I begin, I do want to say that I do understand where some of the negativity is coming from. Things are not great in the rehab world right now. I'm not going to deny that. And if you are feeling frustrated or overwhelmed or burned out in your current situation, you are absolutely allowed to feel that way. And I don't want to downplay your frustrations because I know that they exist and they do exist for really good reason. But I also want you to know that you can make changes and you can turn that ship around. And so, if you would like some help to figure that out, what to do or how to do it, I'm here for you. So, feel free to just message me, reach out, let's start the conversation. Okay. That being said, one of the very first things that you can do is to remind yourself of why you chose this profession in the first place. So most people chose to become a PT or an OT or a speech therapist because they wanted to help people. And you guys, that is what we do. We do that as rehab professionals. We get to help people regain their independence after traumatic injury or a stroke, right? We get to help people walk again after a stroke or a brain injury. We get to help athletes get back on the field and return to the sport that they love. We get to help grandparents be able to enjoy their time with their grandkids, go on their dream vacations that they've been planning now that they're in retirement. We get to help moms who be able to care for their newborn babies or their children without having any pelvic pain. And we get to help them return to running without leaking. We get to help weekend warriors get back into the gym with their friends. We get to help people communicate with others and be able to eat the foods that they enjoy. We get to help kids, children, babies reach developmental milestones so that they can interact with their peers and so that they can play with their peers. We do so much good for the people in this world. Without PTs and OTs and speech therapists, what would these people do? Really ask yourself, because physicians cannot do this. PAs cannot do this. Nurses can't do this. Surgeons can't do it. They do not have the ability or the time that we get to help these people do these things. Yeah, they're part of it, but we, the rehab professionals, we complete the puzzle and we play a major part in that puzzle because we have the knowledge and the ability to improve the quality of our patients' lives, right? The surgeon can fix the fracture, but we help them get back to the sport. We help them become independent again. We improve the quality of their lives. Additionally, we get to spend so much more time with our patients. Depending on the setting that we're in, we have the ability to see our patient for maybe two times a week, sometimes even 5 times a week, for at least an hour each time, sometimes even more time than that. And because of this, we get to connect so much more with our patients. Physicians, PAs, they might get 5 or 10 minutes with a patient. And because of that, they don't get to hear the full story. They don't get to really learn about the patient, what they've gone through or what they're currently going through, but we do. We get to learn from them. We get to hear about their past. We get to learn from them. We get to hear their stories. We truly get to experience a significant part of their life with our patients. For a lot of people in this profession, we crave connection, right? And given the right circumstances, we get the opportunity to connect with our patients every single time that we see them. This is something that I think is really awesome about being a PT. I have met so many people that I otherwise would have never known or met if I had chose a different profession, right? My patients have taught me so much simply by sharing their life experiences with me during our treatment session, right? I've gotten to share in their joys and their excitement, and I've seen their growth through the rehab process. And these are things that you don't get. You don't get these opportunities if you choose another profession, right? Especially another healthcare profession. When patients come to us in rehab, they are often at very low points in their lives for different reasons, but we get the chance to help them through that. We get the opportunity to work alongside them as they start to climb out of those low points, and we get to watch them regain their function, regain their abilities, and improve their independence. Another reason that I love our profession is because it is so diverse and it offers so much variety. Personally, I like variety. I cannot do the same thing all day, every day. I need a little bit of spice in my life, right? Especially at work. And the rehab world certainly offers this variety. We have so many different types of settings that we can work in, from babies to teens to adults to geriatrics, from outpatient to rehab to acute care to home health to the schools, from clinical work to non-clinical work, from working with patients to working in academics and teaching the next generation of therapists, from being a staff PT to becoming a leader in a management position. We have so many options and pathways to choose from. And this is a very, very good thing, right? If you start somewhere and it's not what you thought it was going to be, or it no longer fills your cup, you get the opportunity to try something else because of our profession. You can change a setting or just change the type of patients that you treat. You can switch gears and move into a management position. You can take your joy of teaching other people and take the academic road. You can take your frustrations and move into advocacy to fight for the change you want to see in our profession. Excuse me. Or you can take your own ideas and create your own pathway, like I did, right? I was frustrated and burned out at my full-time job, so I just left and started my own cash-based practice. In doing that, I realized that I actually missed having students around. So that's why I started Clinical Connections, so I could tutor PT students and help them strengthen their clinical reasoning skills. And even then, over the past 4 years, that has even evolved to now where I guide clinicians to build careers that they love and do that while avoiding burnout, right? I started someplace and I am in a completely different path because our profession allows it. There is so much that we can do with our degrees. You don't just have to work in the first job you chose because you thought that's what you wanted to do. Things change. And if you've changed your mind or your goals have changed, lucky for you, you chose a profession that allows you to move and switch to find a different pathway that meets your new goals and your new desires, right? That's pretty awesome. With all of that being said, it is important to understand why you chose this profession in the first place. I absolutely love being a PT, right? There's nothing else I want to do. I love the knowledge that we have about the human body. I've always loved anatomy. I think it's so cool to know how our muscles make our bones move and how the joints work and everything about it. I love the skills that we acquire in school and while working. I love being able to help people and guide them to figure out what works for them. I love being able to to just explain things to patients and start them to see connect the dots, start to see them be able to connect the dots, and then they start to understand what's going on. I love having variety in my day. I love that I have the ability to do a lot of different things throughout my career, and I can make a change if I need or want. I love that I get to learn from my patients and my clients. I love that I get to connect with new people. And I love knowing how to exercise for myself and understanding my own health. If you got into this profession because you just wanted to be a doctor, because you thought you were going to make a lot of money, then this profession will disappoint you and it will let you down. And I believe that these are the people that tend to be the most negative about our profession. They were expecting one thing, but they got another. But if you got into this profession because you truly love understanding anatomy and how the body works, and you value health because it's important to you to help people and connect with people when they need you the most, then this profession will serve you for a very long time. Yeah, there are frustrations in the rehab world. You're going to find frustrations in any profession or career. But we can do a lot of good for the people that we serve. And when you can find the joy in our abilities and what we can do as rehab professionals, then this profession can be very rewarding for you. I hope you learned something new today. Please go ahead and drop in the comments your aha moment or something that really stood out for you or something new that you learned. I want to thank you again for watching, whether you're watching on Instagram, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching from. Thank you again. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please feel free to message me or leave your questions in the comments. Thanks.